And okay, we're recording. All right. So just come to the front of your mat. I'm at the back of the mat. Just more for video purposes. And take a little bit of time just to set ourselves up in our standing position. So we want our feet to be hip. And if you need a little reminder of what that is, let's just do this with our hands. Bend the knees. And take those two fists between the balls of our feet. And that is roughly our hip distance. So often it's a little bit shorter or a little bit narrower than we anticipate. We often think our hips are a lot wider than they actually are. So let's just take a little bit of time to settle in and let ourselves arrive on the mat. Just a few minutes to feel the soles of the feet reaching down into the mat, the floor below the mat, the earth that sits below the floor. And give yourself just a few moments to close down your eyes and let go of whatever's happened before this start of the class, this little block, I like to call it, the space that we create for our practice of yoga. Whatever's happened before, we just kind of let that dissolve to one side, and whatever we have maybe planned for the afternoon, we equally just leave that on the other side of the space just for the moment, so we can bring awareness to the four corners of the mat that we are on and start to make that connection with your breath. So we want to, with eyes closed down, just start to feel that lovely expansion with each breath in. So we start to feel that expansion, maybe principally here, we're feeling it into the chest, the top of the chest, or perhaps taking it a little deeper. But we want to resist that urge to bring the breath in and lift up through the shoulders. So think of your breath as having a direction here, and the direction is to draw the breath in and down into the body. So you'll start to feel a lovely expansion through the torso, and then we get that essence of softness as we release the breath. So I want you to think of that as we move through our flow today, this kind of spunder, it's called, this expansion and softness, this kind of weaving in, like a little bit like the tide that comes in on the beach. The water's coming in and going back out. We're breathing in and expanding and releasing the breath and going back to our normal position with this beautiful ability to offer softness to the body as we release that breath back out. So think of this today as we move through our flow and breathe. We might pause and take some little pulsations in a pose. It's expansion and space that we're creating on the breath in, and softness on our breath out. So speaking of the body and the physical body, let's take a scan through that physical body from head down to toes, just to check in and see how we're feeling on this Monday afternoon, early afternoon. So letting yourself just maybe move around a little here. You might let your head gently move from side to side, or gently up and down, and give the shoulders a little roll. And it's just a nice way to inquire, see where there's tension and tightness, or perhaps there's some gripping through different parts of the body. But equally notice where there's softness and suppleness, so that we're not just focusing on the tension, we're also acknowledging the parts that are supple and soft. And invite that suppleness and softness into any areas that you come across that are presenting as tense and tight. It could be your belly, could be through your glutes or through the quads or maybe the hamstrings. And feel free to move around a little here. So you could just gently start to shift the weight from side to side, or even perhaps just gently let your torso just gently swinging your arms, just a little bit of Just a gentle kind of qigong kind of movement here, where we're letting ourselves fully explore the physical body and wrapping awareness around anything that does arise during this inquiry, knowing that nothing we do in this class ever in a yoga practice is compulsory. It's all completely voluntary. So you may have something going on in your physical body that you need to ease out of some poses for. Please feel free to do that and come and sit back in your child's pose at any time if you need to. Stay there as long as you like. So let's bring awareness back to our breath, and we're going to slow the breath down even more and see if we can deepen that breath and bring it all the way down into the bottom of the torso to the belly. So as you take your next inhalation, drawing that breath in through the nostrils, follow the breath down the back of the throat, all the way down through the lungs. Feel the diaphragm muscle drop just a little. Allow that breath to land as close as possible to the belly. So we feel that expansion from the bottom of the torso, the front, the back, the side. And then let that breath continue to rise all the way back up into your chest. So at the peak of the inhale, the collarbones lift a little. The ribcage expands to the edges of your skin. And then on the exhale, breath slowly leaves the top of the lungs, the bottom of the lungs, the diaphragm muscle shifts up just a little. And as that breath leaves the belly, that navel softly draws in towards your spine. So this is what we call our deep belly breath, or diaphragmatic breath, or yogic breath. It's a nice, slow breath, allowing that expansion to start from the bottom, through the middle, to the top, and that softness as we release the breath from the top, through the middle, and lastly the bottom. So let's take one more breath here. One more of those yogic diaphragmatic breaths. And as you then take your next inhalation, peel the eyes open. Bring the hands towards the ceiling to meet in prayer, and exhale. Guide the hands down to your heart space. And do that again. Inhale. And exhale. So let's go one more time with the breath, but just let your fingers touch on this breath in, and on the breath out, can we slide that right hand down to the right side of the knee, left hand reaches for the right. Inhale, come back through center, fingers touch, and exhale, let the left hand slide down. Inhale, come back through center, exhale to the right. So getting some nice lateral movement through the spine to start with, getting nice and warm. Inhale, fingers touch. Exhale, left hand slides down. So let's come back through center with an inhale, bring the hands to meet in prayer. And this time as we exhale, take a nice gentle forward fold. So tipping from the hips, and when you get your fingers touching on the mat, just feel into the backs of your legs here. And feel free here to bend the knees. We're going to take a little bit of time here to actually pedal and shift the weight from one side of the body to the other. So in effect, as we straighten through one leg, we're shifting the weight into that leg, bending deeply into the other. And feeling that nice stretch through the back of the calves, the back of the knees, and the back of the hamstring. Come to stillness now and use your next inhalation to slide the hands halfway up the shins. And as you exhale, flatten the back. Bring the crown of the head to the front of the room. We want to sink the buttocks towards the wall behind us and feel that nice stretch down the backs of the legs all the way down to the backs of the ankles. Take one more breath in. And on the breath out, release the hands back to the mat. And we'll take that right leg, step it all the way to the back of the mat. Find that nice big long runner's lunge. Drop through the back knee. Inhale to lift the arms. And on the exhale, bring those hands behind, fingers interlace here. Let's draw the hands towards the floor. Lift a little up and away from the buttocks. Draw the shoulders back, broaden through the collarbones. Send that gaze to the ceiling with an inhale. And on the exhale, release the hands to frame the front foot. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. With your next inhalation, we'll step to the front of the mat. Exhale, chest down onto the thighs, and then take a nice slow spinal roll with your inhale. Feel bone, step on bone. Hands can come and reach that tall mountain pose. And exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Inhale, lift the arms. Fingers touch. Let's go again. Exhale, the right hand slides down the right side. We'll inhale, come back through center. Exhale to the left. So let's go back to the right. Inhale, fingers touch. Exhale to the right and hold on this side. Let's take 3 breaths, a little lift on the breath in. Can we slide that hand a little deeper on the breath out? And again, inhale and exhale. One more breath, feeling a lovely stretch now down the left side of the body. So use your next inhale, bring the fingers to reach nice and tall. Exhale, the left hand slides down and the right hand reaches for the left. So little pulsations, little lift on the inhale, go that little bit deep on the exhale. And again, inhale to lift, exhale and reach. One more time. And then use your next inhale, bring the hands back to meet in prayer. And we'll exhale, forward fold, back down onto the mat. Inhale, find your halfway lift here. As you exhale, flatten the back again. We'll hold in this Ardha Uttanasana. Feeling that lovely stretch. We're just trying to get a little bit warmer through the backs of the legs, opening up through the hamstrings, through the glutes, through the calf muscles. Take a nice deep breath in. And on the breath out, release the hands back to the mat. And we'll step that left leg to the back of the mat. Nice big long runner's lunge. Drop down through the back knee. Inhale to lift the arm. And exhale, bring those hands behind. Fingers interlace here. We draw the hands towards the floor. Lift up and away from the buttocks. Shoulders draw back. Collarbones broaden. Maybe send that gaze to the ceiling with the breath in. And then on the breath out, release the hands to frame that front foot. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. With your next inhalation, we'll step to the front of the mat. Exhale, chest down onto the thighs. And take a nice slow spinal roll as we inhale. Feeling bone stack on bone. Hands meet for that tall mountain pose. And on the exhale, let's guide the hands all the way to the navel or solar plexus. Fingers interlace here. Inhale, draw the hands towards the chin, lift the elbows nice and high. And exhale, sink into your chair pose here. Let the buttocks sink down. As you inhale, lift the arms towards the ceiling, straighten through the legs. And on the exhale, bring the hands behind, fingers interlace here. We draw the hands towards the floor, lift up and away from the buttocks with that inhale. Soften your knees, and on the exhale, forward fold. So letting your hands either hang overhead here, or perhaps they rest on the small of your back. Take a breath in. And on the breath out, release the hands all the way to the floor. I want you to soften your knees here. Keep the right hand on the mat. As you inhale, straighten the left leg. Take that left arm up towards the ceiling. And then with your next exhale, release the left arm and bend and soften back into that left leg. Left hand stays on the mat. Inhale, take the right arm up towards the ceiling as we straighten through that right leg. Exhale now and lower. Let's go again. Right hand stays on the mat. Inhale, bend into the right leg, straighten through the left leg. Exhale to lower. Soften through both legs. Left hand stays on the mat. Inhale, straighten the right leg, bend into that left leg. Exhale to lower. Let's inhale now. Find that halfway lift, our Ardha Uttanasana, nice flat back. Exhale, Uttanasana. Right leg step to the back of the mat. Nice big long runner's lunge. We'll drop down through the back knee. Taking a little flow here. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, let's bring the hands down, frame the front foot, and slide your hips back. We'll inhale to come forward. Nice low lunge here. Exhale, hands come down. Hips slide back. Draw the toes back towards the shin. Let's go one more time. Inhale to come forward. Nice low lunge. Exhale, the hands come down. Hips slide back and we'll hold here. Drawing the toes back towards the shin, but let's walk the hands all the way back towards that knee. Lift your chest as you breathe in here. And on the breath out, Bring that chest a little forward and lower it down over the front thigh. And do that again. Inhale to lift. Exhale, a little forward with the chest and lower it down. And feel as if you're attempting to draw this foot back towards you. Right knee drawing towards the front of the mat, left heel drawing back towards the back of the mat. Feeling that nice stretch deepen through the back of the hamstring. And then using your next breath just to shift the weight back into that left foot. Keep the right hand on the mat and inhale, take the left arm up towards the ceiling. So pressing firmly through the right palm, left shoulder opening up a little more. So we take this lovely twist through the torso. Option to tuck the toes on the right leg. You can lift that right knee and come to a nice high revolve lunge here. Take a deep breath in. And on the breath out, release the left hand. Now, if your right knee's still on the floor, tuck toes, lift the right knee. And with your next inhalation, we'll step to the front of the mat. Exhale the chest down onto the thighs. And take that nice slow spinal roll with your breath in. Feel bone stack on bone. Hands come towards the ceiling for tall mountain pose. And exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, bring the hands all the way to the navel or solar plexus this time. Interlace the fingers. Take a breath in, draw the hands towards the chin with the elbows nice and high. And exhale, sink down into your chair pose, Utkatasana. Inhale, lift the arms. And as you exhale, release those hands behind, fingers interlaced here. Draw the hands towards the floor, lift up and away from the buttocks with that inhale. With soft knees, we forward fold on the exhale. Take a nice deep breath in, lift the chest a little. On the breath out, release the hands all the way to the mat. Inhale, find your halfway lift, your flat back. Exhale, forward fold. This time, left leg steps to the back of the mat. Nice big long runner's lunge. Drop down through the back knee. We'll inhale, lift the arms for that nice low lunge. Exhale, bring the hands down, framing the front foot, and let's slide the hips back to our Ardha Hanuman. Let's go again. Inhale, nice low lunge. Exhale, hands come down, hips slide back, toes draw back towards the shin. One more time. Inhale to come forward. Exhale, the hands come down. Hips slide back and we'll hold here. Walking those hands back towards that knee. Lift your chest as you breathe in. Bring your chest a little forward and lower it down as you breathe out. And let's do that again. Inhale to lift. Exhale a little forward, then we lower. So we're feeling the toes draw back towards the shin, feeling that nice stretch down the back of that right leg. The right heel, we're energetically drawing back towards us, the left knee drawing forward. One more breath. And then let's start to shift the weight back into that right foot. Left hand stays on the mat. So we'll inhale, take that right arm up towards the ceiling, opening and twisting through this low lunge, pressing firmly through the left palm, drawing that right shoulder back a little. Option to tuck the toes on the left leg, lift the left knee and come to this high revolve lunge. Take a breath in. And on the breath out, let's release the right hand. And this time, let that left knee come back down if you did lift it. And we'll bring that right knee back as well. And take just a little bit of side to side movement as we settle into our tabletop pose. Knees under hips, hands under shoulders. Coming straight into some cat and cow breath. Inhale. Letting your belly drop, the chest comes forward, gaze forward or eye gaze to the ceiling. And then exhale, round through your spine, chin to chest, navel to spine. Let's go again. Inhale, the belly drops, chest comes forward. Exhale and curl. One more time. And exhale. So from that nice neutral spine now, let's inhale, take that right arm up towards the ceiling. And exhale, slide that arm underneath the left. Bring the right side of your face down onto the mat, threading the needle here. Left hand can stay where it is, or you might inhale and take that left arm up towards the ceiling. And from here, you might bend the elbow, wrap that arm around the lower back and reach for the top of your right thigh and just come into the bind. It's optional. And if you are in the bind, just make sure you're still able to breathe deeply down into your belly and that that breath is not blocked in any way. One more breath. And then use your next breath in to take that left arm back up and underneath the shoulder. And we can press the floor away with that inhale. And slide the hands to the front of the mat with your exhale. Take a breath in here, and on the breath out, sink your chin and chest towards the floor in our extended puppy pose, leaving the hips nice and high. And working here with the breath to just gently lifting on the inhale, lowering on the exhale, so we can deepen this pose and open more deeply through the chest. One more. So use your next inhale to lift high enough so you're able to walk your hands off to the right side of your mat. Keep the knees and hips facing the front. Left hand can crawl a little further out than the right, so we start to feel this nice stretch down the left side of the rib cage. Take a breath in here, and on the breath out, we sink that chin and chest down towards the floor. And we're looking here for a nice stretch through those intercostal muscles that line the rib cage. One more breath. And then you use your next inhale to lift high enough so we're able to walk our hands back through the center and all the way now off to the left side. The right hand can walk a little further out than the left. Take a nice deep breath in, and on the breath out, sink chin and chest towards the floor. So we activate that same lovely stretch down the right side of the rib cage. And working with the breath just to deepen and bring that chest a little closer to the floor with each breath out. Let's inhale now. Press the floor away. And on the exhale, walk your hands back onto the mat underneath the shoulders. Reposition the hands shoulder width and spread the fingers nice and wide. And just take some time here for a little bit of wag the dog. That's what I call it, wag the tail, I should say. Take a breath in, gaze forward. On the breath out, just trying to look over your right shoulder, and then inhale through center and exhale over the left. We just continue, just working here to see if we can bring the shoulder towards the hip. One more time each side. And then come back through center. And with our next inhalation, let's take that left arm up towards the ceiling and slide it underneath the right arm. Left side of the face comes down onto the mat as we exhale. Setting up for that thread the needle pose here. Right hand can stay where it is, or you might inhale. Take that arm up towards the ceiling. And perhaps you bend at the elbow, wrap it around the lower back and reach for the top of that left thigh and take the bind here. Drawing that right shoulder back if you're in the bind and sending the breath nice and deep down into the belly. Let's use our next breath now to take that right arm back up and underneath the shoulder, and we can press the floor away here. I'm just turning around on my mat. So let's bring the hands just a hand's length out in front here from our tabletop. And inhale just to come forward, find a nice low plank. You can exhale, tuck your toes, slide back to an active child's pose. We're going to go again. Inhale, forward. Nice low plank. Exhale back. So just starting to get warm through the shoulders, through the wrists, through the triceps. This time, let's lower halfway down as we exhale. Halfway lower. Press the floor away on the inhale. Slide back to the active child's pose on the exhale. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, halfway lower. Inhale, press the floor away. Exhale back. Now this time we'll come all the way down onto our mat. So inhale forward. Exhale, lower nice and slow all the way down. Hands a fraction wider than your shoulders. Let's inhale, peel the chest off the mat. Find a cobra. Now on the exhale, if your shoulders are up around the ears, gently drop them down. Hug the elbows in, squeeze the glutes together. Take a nice deep breath in here. And on your breath out, lower back down onto the mat. We'll bring hands back under shoulders. Tuck toes, lift through that nice low plank as you inhale. On the exhale, lift the knees off the mat and start to slide the buttocks towards the wall behind you. So we're in that kind of bent legs, downward facing dog or floating child's pose, you could call it that. And from here, let's just press the palms of the hands firmly into the mat. Spread the fingers nice and wide, press the two-piece fingers forward. And then we can just start to pedal our feet here, pedaling our way to our downward facing dog. Lifting onto the toes and allowing one heel at a time to drop towards the mat. And being nice and slow here, not in any hurry. Kind of like a moving meditation. Inhale onto your toes. Exhale, let the heel come down. Inhale onto your toes. Exhale through the other heel. And then coming back through center with an inhale. Let's slide the heels to the right as we exhale. Bend the knees, press the floor away. And then turn back through center and over to the left with the heels. Bend the knees and press the floor away. And then back through center. So we find our downward facing dog. Check that our feet are hip distance. Our hands are still shoulder width. We want to just start to bring the chest a little closer towards the thighs. Press the heels towards the mat. It doesn't matter if the heels touch. Soften the knees a little if you need to. One more breath here. And then let's look between our hands and we can walk or step or jump our feet to the front of the mat with our next inhalation. Exhale the chest onto the thighs and take a nice slow spinal roll with that breath in. Feel bone step on bone and bring those hands towards the ceiling for tall mountain pose. And exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Just take a breath here, just one breath. Dynamic stillness. And then with your next inhale, lift the arms, let your fingers touch. This time let's swan dive down onto the mat. Lead with the chest, arms out nice and wide. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Inhale to your halfway lift, your flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Right leg steps to the back of the mat. Nice big long runners lunge. We'll keep the right knee lifted. Inhale. Lift the arms. Now we're going to flow here. So on the exhale, let's bring the hands down to frame the front foot. And start to slide the hips back as we straighten in through that left leg. So coming forward again as we inhale, bend into the left leg, lift the arms towards the ceiling. Anjaneyasana. Exhale, the hands can come down. We slide the hips back. One more time. Inhale to come forward, bending into that leg, lifting the arms towards the ceiling. Exhale, the hands come down. Hips slide back. Now we'll hold here. Option to peel the foot off the mat and draw the toes back towards the shin. Right heel reaching for the mat behind us. Just taking some time to breathe again into the backs of the legs. Lifting the chest a little on the inhale and lowering the chest, bringing it a little forward and lowering it on the exhale. One more breath. So start to bend back into that left leg. Keep the right hand on the mat. Let's inhale, take that left arm up towards the ceiling. So this nice high revolve lunge here. Take a breath in. On the breath out, release the left hand. And now we'll slide that left leg to the back of the mat. And you can find a plank that best suits you, whether your knees are down and you're in low plank or whether your knees are up and you're in high plank. Totally up to you. Take a breath in. Slowly lower to the mat as you breathe out. Hands just a fraction wider than shoulders. Let's inhale, peel the chest off the mat. Find your Cobra once again. On the exhale, soften the shoulders down away from the ears. Hug the elbows in. Squeeze the glutes together. Take a nice deep breath in here. And lower back to the mat with your breath out. Hands under shoulders. Tuck your toes. Lift through that low or high plank. Your choice. As it with an inhale. Exhale back. Find your downward facing dog. Look between your hands. Walk. Step. Maybe you come onto your toes and take a little jump forward with your inhale. Exhale, chest onto thighs. Let's bend the knees here. Arms out wide, flatten the back, and reverse the swan dive with that breath in. Hands meet for tall mountain pose, and exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, lift the arm. Exhale, swan dive back down onto your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Left leg this time steps to the back of the mat. Nice big long runner's lunge. And we'll inhale. Lift the arms for our Anjaneyasana. Exhale, the hands come down, framing the front foot. Sliding those hips back, straightening through that front leg. Left heel reaches for the mat behind. Inhale, come forward. Anjaneyasana, high lunge. Exhale, hands come down. Hips slide back. Left heel reaching for the floor behind us. One more time, bending into that front leg as we inhale, pressing the floor away, strength and balance. Exhale, the hands come down. We slide the hips back, holding here. Perhaps peeling that right foot off the mat, drawing the toes back towards the shin. Letting that left heel reach for the mat behind us. Working with the breath to bring that chest a little closer, letting it just start to fold down over that front thigh. And then start to bend back into that right leg. We'll keep the left hand on the mat and inhale, take the right arm up towards the ceiling. Pressing firmly through the left palm. Rotating through that torso, drawing that right shoulder back just a little more. Take a nice deep breath in. And on the breath out, let's release that right hand. And we'll slide that right leg to the back of the mat. Find your plank, high or low. Take a breath in. Lower to the floor with your breath out. Let's find striking Cobra this time. Hands come all the way up the mat. Walk them forward a little. Press into the pads of your fingers. Inhale, peel that chest off the mat. Exhale, drop the shoulders. Hug the elbows in. Squeeze the glutes together. Take one more breath in here. And then slowly lower to the mat with your breath out. Hands under shoulders. Let's tuck toes. Lift through your plank, high or low with an inhale. Exhale back. Find your downward facing dog. Take a moment here just to pedal a little through the legs. And then come to stillness through your downward facing dog. Take 2 breaths. With your next inhalation, we'll take that left leg up towards the ceiling. Bend the knee, and we're going to yawn that hip open to the side, like we're stacking one hip on top of the other. Feeling that even distribution of the weight between the right and left hand. Be mindful not to dump all the weight into that right hand. And allow this left heel to reach towards the right buttock. We're just setting up for pigeon pose here, opening up a little through the hips. We've worked a little with the hamstring. So let's use our next inhale to draw the hips back through center. We're going to tiger curl. So on the exhale, just draw the knee in towards your chest first. Then inhale, send the leg back. Bend the knee. Exhale, draw the knee to your left elbow. Then inhale, send the leg back. Bend the knee. Exhale, bring the knee across the body to the right elbow. Little twist here. Inhale, send the leg back. Bend the knee. Now this time as we exhale, draw the knee in towards your chest. We're going to slide that knee down behind the left wrist crease. Untuck the toes on the right and slide back, just setting up for our pigeon pose. So I want you first just to make sure your knee's a little wider than your hip. Take a breath in, lift a little through the chest, and on your breath out, start to lower your chest towards the floor, but do this nice and slowly, nice and mindfully. We want to just arrive on our forearms or the palms of the hands here. Relax your jaw, unclench your teeth, soften your shoulders. Yeah, I know. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you breathe out, I want you to take your awareness to your left hip, glute. Perhaps it's the hip flexor. It could be the outer glute or the top of the glute where you're feeling any tension or tightness. And then focus your breath to those areas that are gripping or tense or tight. See if you can, with your inhale, open those areas up, creating space, expanding with that breath in. And then inviting that essence of softness with the breath out. And you might just find that you're able to bring your chest a little closer towards the mat. Perhaps it sits on top of your calf muscle. So close down your eyes, work with the breath. Maybe allowing that chest to drop a little deeper, a little deeper, a little deeper. And when you feel like your jaw is clenching again, unclench the teeth, relax the jaw and soften through the shoulders. I find often when I come to pigeon, my shoulders will tense up. I feel like I'm in a nice, relaxed, sleepy pigeon, and then I realize my shoulders are a little tense, so I need to drop the shoulders a little more. One more breath here. Now we're going to stay with this left side. We'll inhale, press the floor away, walk the hands back towards that left shin. Let your weight come over onto the left glute or buttock and just firstly draw the right knee into the chest, yeah, and then straighten that right leg. And we'll hug the left knee in, but cross that left ankle just above that right knee. Bring your hands behind and then bend the right leg so you're sliding the heel in towards the buttock. And then I want you just to start to move. Buttock towards heel, heel towards buttock, whatever best suits you here. We're just staying with a kind of pigeon variation. So perhaps to deepen it for you, you walk your hands a little closer in. Maybe you slide your buttocks even more and we're pressing that left knee out to the side. So just continuing on with a variation of pigeon to open up a little more through the left hip and the glutes. So if a lot of us are working from home, and I know over the last couple of months, what I call incidental movement has maybe not been happening. And by that I mean walking from transport to the office or from your car to the office or walking around shopping centers. We haven't been doing a lot of that and hips can get really tight. So double whammy today I know we're starting to move and open up a lot more and restrictions are being lifted, but still nice to give those hips a nice little workout. Let's just now walk the hands back and move the buttocks back if you brought them in nice and close like I did, and straighten that right leg. Now, perfect setup for a twist here, so let your left foot just touch down. Hug that left knee in with the right hand. Bring the left hand behind. So pressing the sole of the left foot firmly into the mat and drawing the toes of the right foot back towards you. Inhale to lift and lengthen here. And on the exhale, draw the shoulder back first. Let the shoulder draw the rib cage and chest, and then let your head and neck follow just a fraction of a second behind the rest of the torso. So each breath in is that lift and lengthen. And each breath out is the twist. We soften the shoulder, the rib cage, the chest. Hug that left knee in and keep activating that nice stretch through the left glute and hip. So use your next breath in now. Guide your head and neck back to center. Rest of the body can follow. So we're going to just send that weight, bring our hands back behind, send the weight back in, uncross our legs. And uncross our legs, but bend both of the legs. And heel toe the feet to the edges of the mat. And can we just take a little windscreen wiper, a palate cleanser. Just let the knees gently move from side to side. We'll make our way back to our downward facing dog. So as your knees next come to the left, we'll make our way to a tabletop position. So hands under shoulders, knees back under hips, tuck toes, and lift the knees and find your way to down dog. And what might feel really nice to do here is just to pedal the feet a little, and you can feel the difference between the pigeon and unpigeon side. It could be quite a massive difference. It might just be small. Come back to stillness. We'll inhale now, take that right leg up towards the ceiling, bend the knee and yawn that hip open to the side. Did you hear my ankle crack then? Feeling one hip stack on top of the other. That right heel is drawing towards the left foot. Evenly distributing the weight between both of the hands. And then let's use our next inhale. Draw the hips back to center and exhale the knee to chest. Start to shift the weight forward. Little tiger curls. Inhale, send that leg back. Bend the knee. Exhale, knee to the right elbow. Inhale, send that leg back. Bend the knee. Exhale, the knee comes across the body to the left elbow. One more time. Inhale, send that leg back. Bend the knee. Exhale, knee to chest. We're going to slide that knee down behind the right wrist crease. Untuck the toes on the left leg. Slide that leg back. Make sure that right knee is a little wider than the right hip. Lift the chest as we breathe in, and then start to lower your chest, but just come to your forearms while we bring awareness to this right side, and just notice how the hip is feeling here, how the glute is feeling, where there's tension and tightness through this side of our body. And again, if your jaw has tensed up, unclench your teeth, relax the jaw, soften your shoulders here. And work with the breath to soften your body, and that will sometimes translate into dropping a little closer to the floor, bringing awareness to that tension and tightness that's being held within this right hip, glute, hip flexor. Noticing whether it feels a little different. Funnily enough today, usually I have completely different things going on each side of my body, and when I take pigeon, one side feels completely different to the other, but not today, which is interesting. There's evenness in my pigeons, so that's an interesting observation, that one that I've never really known before. In all my years of practicing yoga, normally one side feels completely different to the other, so not good or bad, just an interesting observation. So there we have it. One more breath. And then with your next breath in, we can start to press the floor away and walk the hands back towards that shin. And we're going to shift the weight into the right glute. Draw the left knee into the chest first, and then straighten that left leg and draw the right knee in. Keeping with this pigeon variation, cross the right heel or ankle just on top of that knee, above the knee, on top of the thigh, and bring the hands behind as we bend that left leg. Setting up now for our pigeon variation. Work your way. So you might feel that's enough of a stretch for you here, or you might slide the buttocks all the way into the heels and walk the hands in. We want to keep that right knee pressing out to the side, so we're still activating a nice stretch through the right hip. Lift the chest, so don't round through the chest here, see? Lift the chest and brace through the core. Flex the right foot. One more breath. And then we can just start to walk our way back just a little. Readjust. As we straighten the left leg, you'll see the right foot will very nicely just pop down onto the floor, so we can set up for our Ardha Matsyendrasana. Toes of the left foot draw back. We hug that right knee in with the left hand. Bring the right hand behind. Inhale, lift and lengthen through the crown of the head. On the exhale, it's the shoulder, rib cage and chest. Lastly, the head and neck that turn to the wall. So each breath in is that lift and lengthen through the crown of the head, and each breath out is that softness through the torso that allows us to move deeper into the twist. So let's use our next breath in now. Guide your head and neck back to center. The rest of the body can follow, and we'll just uncross the legs, bring them legs out nice and straight. Give the legs a little shake here. From our Dandasana, stick pose, star pose. Inhale, lift the arms, and as we exhale, let's start to roll that back down onto your mat. And when you have fully arrived, draw your knees into the chest and just let yourself just take a little rock and roll on the mat, just gently moving from side to side. And then bring your hands onto your knees so we can start to circle the knees here. Massaging through the glutes and into the lower back. Notice how when you make the circles a little bigger, you're able to reach a little deeper into the glutes, a little higher into the back. When you're ready, pause and change direction. And then gently pause and just hug your knees in. We're going to keep the right knee in, let that left foot touch down. I'm just going to move myself forward a little. So hug that right knee in, and then let's straighten that leg and let your hands come maybe to behind the thigh or the calf or towards the ankle. And can we just rotate through that ankle just a little? Maybe 2 or 3 little rotations in each direction. And then pause and give that foot a little flex and point. Hold it in a flexed position. Let's take a nice deep breath in, and on the breath out, just start to slowly, slowly guide that leg behind you. Now, if your hamstring is still really tight, although we did quite a lot of hamstring work, soften the knee a little, bend it as much as you need to. But just keep working with the breath, nice and slowly, no force. We don't want to quickly pull the leg back. We don't want to strongly pull the leg back. We want to work with the breath. So waiting for those muscles to relax and open up a little, and then slowly drawing the leg back. And then wherever you've landed there, just start to bend that leg and interlace the fingers below the kneecap and gently draw the knee in towards the chest. We're just going to take some little pulsations. As you inhale, gently press the knee away, and as you exhale, draw the knee in. And let's do that again. Inhale to press away. Exhale, draw the knee in. And then let's take that right leg to the outside of the body. So towards the floor, but draw the knee up towards your shoulder or underarm here. Flex the right foot. And then draw that knee back into center. And now we'll cross that ankle over that left knee. Gently press the inside of that inner right thigh away. And then when you're ready, draw the left knee in towards the chest. Right hand threads through the legs, left hand to the outside. You might interlace the fingers behind the thigh or just below the kneecap. Press your right elbow into that inner right thigh and draw the left knee in towards your chest. Flex both of the feet. So keep pressing through that right elbow into the inside of the right thigh. One more breath. And then let that left foot touch down. Bring your arms out to the side. Heel toe your left foot to the edge of the mat. And legs as they are, just let them gently fall to the right. Your head can be to the left or neutral towards the ceiling, or you might turn it to the right. Just depends on how your neck is feeling here. I'm going to slide that foot off the left knee and bring that right foot out nice and wide. And inhale to bring the knees through center. And exhale, let the knees gently drop to the left. Left heel or ankle now on top of that right knee or thigh. And maybe your head turns to the right. Slide that left foot off the knee and let your knees just sort of gently windscreen wiper from one side of the room to the other. And then come back through center and draw the knees into the chest. Wrap the hands around the shins, gently drawing the knees in. We'll keep the left knee and this time let the right foot touch down. Straighten through that left leg. Hands can come behind the thigh or the calf or up around the ankle, and just start with those rotations through the ankle joint. And then we can pause to flex and point the feet. And then hold that foot in a flexed position. Take a nice deep breath in and start to gently guide that leg back behind you as you breathe out. Feel like your toes are reaching for the floor behind. Feeling into the back of the leg, softening through the knee. If you need to, you can bend the knee a lot here or a little. Working with the breath just to gently guide this leg back behind us. And then pause where you are and start to bend that leg. Interlace the fingers below the kneecap. Just gently draw the knee in here. A little inhale to press the knee away and exhale, draw the knee in. So just little pulsations to activate the hip flex. Holding that knee in towards the chest, let's now take that leg to the outside of the body. Draw the knee up towards the shoulder or underarm. Flex the foot, the left foot. And then slowly draw the knee back into the chest, and we'll cross that left elbow over the left ankle over the right knee. Maybe draw your right heel in a little and just gently press away through that inner left thigh. And then when you're ready, draw the right knee in, left hand threads through the legs, right hand to the outside. Either interlace the fingers behind the thigh or just below the kneecap. Press that left elbow into the inside of the inner left thigh. Flex both of the feet and start to draw that right knee in. So as you're drawing the right knee in, press the left elbow into that inner left side. Release that right foot to the floor, and we'll bring our arms out to make a T pattern. Heel toe the right foot to the edge of the mat. Let your knees then just gently fall to the left. Your head can stay to the left or towards the ceiling, or you might turn it to the right. Depends on your neck. Slide that left foot off the knee and take that left leg nice and wide. Inhale, draw the knees through center, and exhale, let them gently fall to the right. Right heel or ankle can sit on top of that left knee now, and we take that spinal twist in the other direction, but we're also working with a little stretch through that left hip and glute. One last one. Slide that foot off the knee now, and just gently let your legs windscreen wiper from one side of the room to the other, letting your head turn in the opposite direction. And then as you come back through center next time, lift the knees into the chest, arms wrap around the shin. Lift your head and shoulders off the floor, so we're drawing our forehead and knees towards each other and curling into this little seed pod, this little cosmic egg shape. Take a nice deep breath in, and on the breath out, lower your head and shoulders to the mat, and then let your feet touch down below the buttocks and extend one foot at a time to the bottom of your mat. Feet open out to the side, arms come to the sides of the body, flip the palms so palms face the ceiling. Close down your eyes and let yourself just settle into your final pose, our Shavasana, acknowledging now that all of the work has now been done. There's nothing left for you to do, nowhere for you to be or go for the next few minutes. We get to be in this space on our mats in stillness, surrendering into all of the gifts, all of the goodness that our yoga practice has to offer. So let yourself just sink down, soften through the body. Let your toes, your feet, your ankles soften, your shins and calves, the knees and backs of knees, the thighs and backs of thighs, through the hips, pelvis, glutes. Soften through the torso, the abdomen, the belly, the chest, and then feel the lower back, the middle back, the upper back drop a little deeper down into the mat as we let go even more and feel ourselves just perhaps, in a sense, sinking down through the layers of the earth. Allow your shoulders to soften, the backs of the arms, elbows, forearms, the wrists, hands and fingers. So feeling the whole back of the body, including the back of the head, dropping a little deeper. Soften your face, so iron out any creases through the forehead. Relax the cheeks, relax the jaw, let the tongue just sit on the bottom of the mouth. And just allow your breath to be a nice natural breath in and out through the nose. And if you find that your thoughts are rising, then let them. No attachment, no effort to stop them from coming. Welcome them in with a sense of love and joy, rather than trying to stop them or trying to send them away. And you'll notice that they'll just kind of dissipate. They'll just kind of move on. There's no struggle. So start now to let your breath begin to slowly deepen. And bring your awareness back to your space on the mat, position within your room. And then allow that awareness to just start to expand to the four corners of the mat that you are on. And beyond that, to the four corners of the room that you are in. And start to then let it expand beyond that space back to the outside world. So you start to notice little sounds from the outside world gently dropping back in. Resisting the urge to label the sounds or put a name to them, just knowing or noticing they're there and feeling that ebb and flow. And then let the sound of the bells gently guide you back to your physical body on the mat inside your space. And start to invite some little flickers of movement and energy back into your fingers and your toes. You might rotate your wrists and your ankles, or gently let your hand move from side to side. When you're ready, you can extend your arms overhead so fingers reach for the wall behind and let your toes reach for the wall in front. And take a nice deep breath in, letting your body become as long as it possibly can. Feeling yourself re-emerge, re-entering into your Monday afternoon. Bending your knees, making your way over to your favorite side, resting your head in your upper arm and your forearm. Just take some time here with eyes closed down to regroup and to regather. We want to bring all the lovely gifts and goodness that we've received from our practice back with us and fully integrate with the physical, perhaps the emotional, the mental, spiritual, energetic, whatever resonates with you here. So as we continue on with our day, we can fully embody those gifts. So when you feel ready, there's no hurry. Start to mindfully and very slowly bring yourself up to a comfortable seated position. With eyes closed down, bring your hands into prayer. Anjali Mudra, thumbs rest gently in on your sternum. Soften the shoulders and reach the crown of the head nice and tall towards the ceiling. And just sink in. Notice how you're feeling now at the end of your practice. Allow yourself just to drop into your heart space. And just choose on this Monday afternoon one thing that you are grateful for in your day. It could be a cup of coffee you had this morning. It could be a conversation you had with a friend. It could be anything at all. A walk on the waterfront. Anything at all. A wagging tail from your dog, or my cat just came and rubbed himself against me and wanted some pats, and I'm grateful that he's affectionate. Pop that into your heart space. And start to notice the feelings that that little piece of gratitude generates. And keep them going. And from one small piece of gratitude, we can generate these massive feelings of maybe joy and love and bliss and appreciation. So imagine if we kept doing that throughout our day, just stopping every 30 minutes. What am I grateful for now? I'm grateful for the sunshine. I'm grateful for some time at home. I'm grateful for that lovely meal. I'm grateful for that message. Get the idea, little things. Or if you're driving your car, I'm grateful for the road that I get to drive on, that I didn't have to build with my hands and my sweat and my labor. Little things, little things, little things. And you'll start to develop this practice, and you'll see this, or you'll feel this sense of gratitude throughout your day and fully embody Thank you so much for joining me for our Monday lunchtime Zoom yoga class. And if you'd like to join me, it's not compulsory, and you can unmute yourself so we can all do this together. We'll chant one Om and 3 Shantis to close our class. So take a nice deep breath in. Another inhale. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day. Namaste. I'm going to come and stop the record now. Marjorie's gone.